Good morning. Off on another walk. Today, we have a Rush t-shirt on, and I'm wearing a different hat. My son tried to talk me into getting one of these hats because he said that the hats I normally wear are dad hats. Well, duh, I'm a dad. I'm a grandpa too. So, I don't know. I'll wear it today. We'll see. Our first destination is that hill up there, up in the sunshine. Warm us up a little bit. You know, I think back to various times in my life, and there have been various obsessions that I've had. And I'm gonna say obsessions because it seems like at these times, that's really all I focus on. I mean, I remember there was a time I was really into mountain biking. You know, I was obsessing about the best mountain bikes, the lightest, the best components. And, you know, I researched for, it seemed like years before I finally bought one and got a really good mountain bike. And I was constantly going mountain biking, you know, finding trails and everything like that. And even, you know, driving to some of the best trails. That was a lot of fun. I still have a great mountain bike. I actually invested in an electric assist. It does not have a throttle on it, so you have no choice but to pedal. But it really extends your range, and you can go ahead and go up some of those trails and down as well, because you know that you can get back up the hill, which is kind of nice. Plus also you can, I used to ride at the beach a lot, where if you go south on the beach in the morning, when you turn around and come back, the wind can be blowing against you. And if you're 20 miles away from where your car is, that can make for a really rough ride. But with electric assist, that's not a problem. Yep. And then there was the time I was really into sailboats, sailboat racing. I've mentioned before, we used to go sailboat racing twice a week. We'd go out for wet Wednesdays, and we'd also do the weekend races. Sometimes there'd be a regatta and we'd sail both Saturday and Sunday. That was a lot. Yeah, and then there was a time I was really into playing music. I still kind of am, but it's dropped off a bit now that I'm obsessing with all my tropical fruits and everything. But yeah, being in a band, actually for a while I was in 2 bands, and a lot of work. You have to practice during the week, and that takes a lot of time. And me, I'm not a natural musician, so I had to do a lot of practicing. It was always my job to actually over-practice a little bit, so that I was never the one to make a mistake during a gig. I still did, but I think the practice really helped. And it's just like anything. If you practice, you get better at it. So maybe someday I'll get back into playing a bit, but I had to stop because my arthritis in my hands is so bad. Getting old. That's part of it though. But now I'm obsessed with all the tropical and subtropical fruit trees and plants. Yeah. Well, let's get on with our walk. Why the fuck would somebody do this? You know, come all the way up this dirt road to dump a fucking mattress? Assholes. You know, I mean, look how far up we are. You know, why not dump it on the street so at least somebody could come and pick it up and get it out of here? Now it's gonna be a hassle to get it out of here. Jesus Christ, some people. Things like that make me angry. You know? I mean, if you're gonna be an asshole, at least be an asshole where you can have somebody else kind of deal with your assholedness. You know, that's not a word, but yeah. Oh, nice view this morning. On another note, here we are. Woo! Woo, top of the world. Whoa. Nice way to start the morning. A little bit of a grind up the hill. Oh, there's that monstrosity again. Oh, Jesus. That just sticks up like a sore thumb. Well, you know, I've shown this view many times, but it's still a nice view. Hey, let's see what's up over this. Ooh, these are good shoes. There we go. Off in the hazy distance there. Nice hazy little morning. It's a nice house right there, isn't it? So this is something that I was curious about. Okay, I'm on a super steep hill right now, and this sidewalk that I'm on, it only goes for about another 30 or 40 yards around that corner, right? Super steep hill. And right here, City of Los Angeles put in a handicap accessibility. I don't know what you would call it, but it's for accessibility. So these little nubbins on this yellow thing is for the blind, so that they can feel when there is a crosswalk, which there isn't. There is no sidewalk on the other side, nor will there ever be. And so this was built. Nobody in their right mind would ever come down this hill in a wheelchair. So I have no idea why this was built. It just kind of doesn't make any sense at all. And I remember I walked past here the first day. The guys were out here measuring, and they were, you know, it was two guys, and they were standing there talking and discussing it and putting paint on the street. And then the next day, actually took maybe 4 days. The next day they demoed and put up cones and everything like that. Then the day after that, they came out and they laid the concrete. And then the day after that, they came out and took down all the cones and finished the project. So it was a multi-day project. Why? I am 100% all about making accessibility for the disabled. All about it, 100%. This, I can't imagine, is an area that it would ever be used. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm just, you know, being an asshole, I don't know. But I just don't think so. Check out this olive tree. Everyone wants an olive tree. What they don't realize is, look at all the oil on the street where the olives have come down and got squished into the street. Olive trees are everywhere, but I have never heard of anybody harvesting the olives and processing them to eat, ever. Oh yeah, breakfast. Ooh yeah. Yay, ripe cherries. Oh man, I so want to taste one of these, but they have so few on this tree that I don't want to take away from the person who's growing this. Nice. I'm gonna have to take a mental note of these cherries that I've seen that are actually ripening. You know, we don't really have enough chill hours in the winter for cherries to properly grow, but it appears that they are. So I'm gonna have to remember these for next year and see if they actually deliver a crop next year. If they do, I may have to invest some space into a cherry tree, because I like cherries. A very rare creek area. I said that like I was some kind of documentarian. Is that a word? Like I'm a guy who does documentaries. A creek area. Oh man, I don't know why I decided to walk this way. I'm doing this huge loop around my neighborhood, and this street is busy. Lots of cars, lots of cars. And I'm going to be walking through a strip mall, which I don't think anybody cares about. This is actually a much better view of this marshy area. This is a natural creek too, so yeah, you know, it's all fenced off. It's too bad that kids couldn't go down there and play in the brackish water and the, you know, look for tadpoles and stuff like that. Even though it's really nasty looking water, it's kind of beautiful in a way. When I was a kid, one of my fondest memories was riding my bike down to the quote unquote swamp and you know, looking for tadpoles and frogs and seeing all the birds and snails and stuff. Every year I remember I would get a jar and I would gather up tadpoles and snails, and I would take them home, and they would sit on the counter, and I would feed them goldfish food, and they'd eventually die. I mean, that's what you do as a kid. But the snails wouldn't. The snails just kept going, and they would eat the algae that would form on the inside of the jar. Boy, is it loud here. I don't know why I went this way. For some reason, I am feeling extra energetic this morning. I don't know, I've already gone 2.81 miles, and I'm about halfway home, but I'm feeling like I could just keep walking all day. I feel good. And I didn't eat breakfast this morning except for a few loquats off the neighborhood trees. But maybe I have this energy because I ate chicken fried rice last night. Maybe that's it. I hope I'll be able to focus today. You know, in my job as an IT professional, I've been doing that for, 26, 7, 8 years, something like that. You know, sometimes it's really important to just focus. And I'm doing this project where, going up a little hill, where I have to build these servers in the cloud in Azure. And I have to do proof of concept that this client's old workflow application will work in the cloud. So, you know, and it requires a lot of focus. Working in the cloud is a lot different than working on premise. So you kind of have to visualize things in your head, or kind of follow a map of how you want things to be and how you want to architect it. And it requires some focus, which I haven't had lately. Squirrel. Oh, actually, look at this. Here we go. The holly leaf cherry tree is in bloom. Nice. Looking forward to some holly leaf cherries. And that, my friends, is an example of getting distracted. I've got a whole backyard filled with tropical fruit trees and plants, and you know, I get support tickets that come in, and then, you know, I see that I get an email from one of the places I buy plants from, and they say new seeds available or new plants. Then I'm off down that rabbit hole. Jesus. I need to just focus today. Well, coming up the last hill to my house. Good walk today, man. It's a beautiful day. I wish I could just keep walking, but no, unfortunately I have to go make some money. It's one of those things. I got to be able to afford my fruit trees, huh? Anyway, y'all be great humans, and we'll see you on the flip side. Ciao.